And in order to stay up on what's about a 15, 16-hour drive, Google says 18, but I drive really quickly, I needed caffeine gum to keep me going. I bought it at a lot of gas stations along the way. And while I was at a cannabis event in Colorado, I turned to the person next to me and I was like, someone should really make a cannabis-infused gum. The guy was like, that's easy. If you can get the cannabinoids to bind to the hydrocolloids, you got it solved. I was like, oh, I don't know what that means. That's one of my co-founders. His name's Justin Gwynn. He's a brilliant scientist. And we made a gum, and we launched it in California, and we called it Cannabis Plus Gum. And it failed, big time. Couldn't raise a dollar, couldn't sell anything. I think we were a little bit ahead of the market, but Plus stuck. So what's Plus? Plus is the top edibles brand in the largest and most competitive market in the world. That's California, for those who aren't familiar with the cannabis market. And by market, I mean cannabis market. So there are three things I want to talk about today. The first is, what is Plus? The second is sort of, what have we done and where are we going, is the last one. I think all are really important to know. First, what is Plus? So we're the top edibles brand in the largest and most competitive market in the world. This is what the chart looks like when you put the top 4 brands together. These other brands have been around for more than 8 years. Some of them. Some have been around for 3 or 4. We've been around for a lot less. We're the blue one. More importantly than being the top brand, we also have the top products. For anybody who comes from consumer products, or CPG, consumer product goods, they know that it's not enough to have the most sales. What really matters is how successful are your individual products in your product line. Across all categories, that includes vape, cartridges, pre-rolls, flower, tinctures, and all the things. Our Sour Watermelon Uplift is the #1 seller, and our Blackberry Lemon is the #2. Our CBD is like #5, but once you're not #3, the story's not interesting anymore. So these are #1 and #2. But most importantly, we have that top spot by a significant position. So as you can see sort of in the rest of the chart from 3 through 10, the difference between product lines at the top of the chart isn't that much. Often very successful products do a certain amount of well. But our top products significantly outsell everybody else in the market. And there's a reason why. We spend a lot of time making them really good. We haven't spent much money on marketing, which is something I'll talk about later. The real reason we've been so successful is because we have a really good world-class leadership team. My background's at Facebook and technology. I'm actually not that interesting. Our chief risk officer was head of compliance at Uber. Before that, she ran Facebook payments and compliance. She likes hard problems. My father, who's our chairman, used to be the chief information officer for UBS. He spent 15 years on the board of Deutsche Börse, which is a German stock exchange conglomerate. And our senior financial advisor, CFO, person is John Paul, is more than 25 years of experience across CPG companies, pharmaceutical companies, and all the things that you need in order to tell the guys like me that I can't do the things I want to do. But more importantly, we have a really good operational team. Emmanuel Martinez has more than 15 years in food manufacturing, mostly at a company called Gruma Corporation, which, for anybody who knows Mission tortilla chips, comes from Cho Chocolate, which is this amazing boutique chocolatier in San Francisco, one of the best. She was the head chocolatier there for 8 years, left because she was sick of food manufacturing, and I convinced her, because her family was a history of pot growers who'd been out in the mountains, who she'd moved out to be with, that maybe it was worth giving food one more try. And Justin Gwynn, who likes to go by crunchy in the industry because he's like a chef who has burns all over, so he's crunchy on the outside. He's the best organic chemist I've ever met. He's a chef at 2 Michelin star restaurants, which I didn't believe until I actually met the owner of one of the restaurants, and he was like, yeah, he was, because he's just that good of a scientist. These people are helping us build toward our vision. It's really important to understand, if you want to understand Plus, what our vision is. It's to build the world's strongest cannabis brand by making cannabis safe and approachable. So the question is, What have we done to actually help us move toward that vision? But more importantly than what we've done, it's important to understand why we've done what we've done. Our goal is to build the world's strongest cannabis brand by making cannabis safe and approachable. And if you want to build the world's strongest cannabis brand, you have to start far from the plant. Why do I say that? Why do we believe that at Plus? Well, the answer is that if you want to build a brand, what you need is to be able to build brand equity. You need to be able to differentiate your products from what else is there on the market. You need customers returning who are loyal to your brand and know what they're going to be getting and get the same thing every time. We believe edibles are the place where that's going to be because the numbers are already showing it. When you look at the prices of flower and concentrates, and you look at what has happened in pricing of edibles in the markets that went recreationally legal first, what you will see is that the price of flower drops first, the price of flower drops second, and edibles have actually remained steady, if not gone up. Well, why is that? When you sell corn, it's hard to brand. I have family in Minnesota who get really offended when I say that, by the way, but it's really hard to brand corn, because corn's just corn. But when you sell gummies that are made from corn, what you're branding is sugar made from corn, that you can stick a brand on. Haribo's done a really good job. So the more manufacturing that you actually do to any product, the more the area there is for things to go wrong. Those things going wrong are what you have to get right. If you get those things right, then the customers will love your product and your brand. That's why all the investments we've made to date have all been in our manufacturing. When they try our product and then they try somebody else's, they've come back and purchased ours. That's not a winning strategy in the long run, but we believe that in the beginning, if you want to pour gasoline on the fire, you need to build a big fire first, and then you pour the gasoline on, and you'll build something really exciting. So we're really proud of the success we've had at Plus, but this is what we're most proud of. We received our first funding of $1 million. We gave away about a third of the company in June 2017. Now, since that time, it was a good funding environment last year. Plus has raised successively more and more money. We have about $20 million in the bank today. But we went from 50th at the time that we took that funding to first by the end of Q3 last year. So that's about 15 months. That's really hard to do in a very competitive market. That's how we know we have a great product. So then the reason why many of you are here today is not to see the poorly formatted slides where the numbers didn't work. It's to see what Plus is going to do next. And the hard thing about being a branded product company is if I tell you everything we're going to do, then I can't surprise and delight you when it happens, right? But we're going to let you peek in behind the curtains and see a little bit of what's going on at Plus. And we're excited to share some of this with you. So let's start with our new tagline, which is starting to launch. It's Find Your Just Right. We've done a lot of consumer research of people who buy our products. We've tried to figure out why we're doing so well. And what we found is that the answer is different for every person. The reason why some people use cannabis is different than the reason why other people use cannabis. And what we deliver is a really consistent product. When you have Plus gummies, not promising that the certain moods that we say you will feel, although we're working on that. What I can tell you is that for the people who purchase them, they know exactly what what they expect to get. That's what happens. The next time they have it, the same thing happens. And there's no secret sauce to doing that. We hired a Harvard chemist who runs 2 high-pressure